This is a central location being established for the purpose of not only reporting rumors and incidents, but also to check out what has happened in each of our schools.
Who will man it?
This will be jointly manned by personnel from the police department and from the Dallas Independent School District.
Why do you think a rumor control center is necessary?
We have a communications gap or a credibility gap developing between the public, the patrons, the parents, and the school district personnel, and also between the public, parents, and patrons with the police department, because perhaps there has not been enough coordination. Perhaps our efforts have not been centralized enough.
Do you think that people are deliberately beginning these rumors?
We have some indication now that the incident at Hood, for instance, was planned. News media representatives were informed in the morning that something was going to happen at noon. We had parents coming to school at noon, waiting outside the school for something to happen before we ever knew that anything like this had been rumored.
What school do you suspect will be hit next?
But we are now getting rumors in the same area. This will be Samuel High School. The rumors are now starting about Samuel High School. The latest one is that there will be a big rumble about 10 o'clock Monday.
We had a case that involved Billy Charles Dennis. He had about $50,000 worth of merchandise that was taken throughout the whole county and had it down at his place. We went down and took all of his merchandise back and have it here at this time too, some of it here.
How many cars did that involve? Do you have any idea?
About 13, I believe, had 13 automobiles that was cut up, and I believe we've got 2 that was new automobiles that they had never started on. 1 boat trailer and motor, and then another cattle trailer, and some post hole diggers and stuff like that. They had gasoline post hole diggers.
You recovered all this merchandise you have in your possession now?
Yes, we do. We have the biggest part of everything right here now, other than what we have returned to Tarrant County.
Well, I think when you have almost a third of the world's people involved there, that he believes that you should set up communications, that you should have a dialogue with those people. I think that's right. I believe that you should. We know that the Chinese are developing missiles, and when they reach a position of having that kind of power, I think we should be able to talk with them and converse with them, try to resolve differences if we can. Now, let me also add a note of caution in this. The history of past summit meetings has not been particularly good. They have not been too encouraging. But I still think we ought to try.
Some political analysts are interpreting this as the administration taking a soft line with communism. Do you see it this way?
Well, I certainly hope not. I don't believe they will. I think we must still remember that the communist system really wants to dominate the world. And in turn, I don't think that we should forget our friends at Taiwan. They have been our allies for a long time.
I have recommended to President Nixon while I was in the Senate, Chief Judge Brown of the Fifth Circuit. He's from Houston, Republican, appointed by President Eisenhower. All the judges say that he is the greatest judicial administrator on a circuit court. That Fifth Circuit, Texas is a part of it. Then I have a classmate here in Dallas, a Republican judge appointed by President Eisenhower, Judge Joe Estes, well known to Dallasites. I'd like to see a Southerner put on the court. We have no Southerner there. I recommended them to President Nixon before.
Well, it'd be very difficult to prove, but I don't think it'd be impossible. I think it could be proved. We have ways in which we could trace the rumor source in certain cases, and I think that it would be a very difficult case to prove and make. But nevertheless, I don't think it's impossible.
Suppose there are a couple of rumors going at one time. If you only have one person manning the center, how can he or she effectively trace that, two rumors?
Well, now, the center here will be manned by police and school officials.
But don't you have rumor control officers set up in some of the schools?
Yes, we have. They're not called that, but we do have officers in some of the schools, school guidance center officers and the youth action center officers. And we'll feed out information to them very quickly in an effort to get them to check these rumors out. But we'll have school officials working with us in this activity as well. So it's not just a one-person shot at the school. We'll have at our disposal several people who can work very quickly in determining whether or not it's a rumor or, in fact, it has happened.
This matter I have discussed with Doug Muller, the first assistant district attorney, and Doug told me at that time that he was preparing transcripts of his testimony together with had the transcripts and would bring those down together with his testimony to the grand jury, and we are to go over those and to see where the discrepancies are. I think, first of all, if there are discrepancies of material facts, then this sort of thing must, and I'll insist that it be presented to the Dallas County Grand Jury.
Barker supposedly was a good friend of the defendant. Do you know anything about this?
No, I understand that he knew Mr. Landers, but I don't know how well they knew one another.
Do you think this will have any effect on the Rodriguez case?
No, I don't. You see, there are several witnesses in this case, of which Mr. Barker is just one.
Will Barker be taken off this case?
He's off of which case are you talking
The
about?
Rodriguez.
He will not be assigned any duties until this matter is straightened up.
So is he sort of suspended right now?
That's correct.
The big effect that was going on at the time, if you might call it that, was the consideration the Japanese government was giving to the fact that we were negotiating with Red China. Mr. Nixon had made the announcement that he'd visit there, and this is causing them quite a bit of concern within their own government and among the people that we met and visited with.
Along those same lines, what does the man in the street think about President Nixon's upcoming visit to Red China?
The Lions that we met, and those were most of the ones that we talked to that we could converse with in English, they were not too happy about it.